Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, from the east to the north to the west. We want to welcome you officially to Jamestown Lens. And this YouTube channel is meant to make others to understand life in a very different angle. And today we are taking our lens to the political arena, and I'm very excited that I'm joined by a man himself. He can introduce himself over here.
Yes, good evening, our viewers. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're watching us
Yes,
today.
exactly.
My name is Robert Van. Today we shall be analyzing what is happening in the world of politics.
Yeah, that is it. That's what we are analyzing tonight. What is happening in the world of politics? We have seen that the election is over, the dust is now settling. And what the question that people keep on asking is that why is it that the opposition has always tried its level best to fight for victory, but it has never happened? Why? And they front big people. They think like they will be able to challenge the sitting president. In your own view, first of all, as you, besides being a media personality, you're also a human being. How do you? What is your reading in that?
When you talk about the politics for us here in Uganda, there are a number of factors that will contribute, maybe for the opposition, maybe to overtake the government which is in power. But it will start with the structures. When you look at the current government, NRM, they have a very strong structures that has helped them to consolidate themselves in power for quite a long time, so far 40 years when they have been in power. When you look at right from the grassroots, I think they have each and every one right from the grassroots up to the top, and that is one of the things that have really helped them to consolidate. Because when you have a very good mobilization down there, right from the village level, come to the district, go to the international, I think that is one of the.
But before, I am sorry to interject, but I've seen even the other parties, other political parties, when you talk of NUP, FDC, Democratic Front, they have they do mobilization in the grassroots, from the grassroots. So, but what is it actually? Are they failing to discover the weakness of the other, or it is just a natural cause for opposition?
It's not a natural cause for opposition. I think when you talk about money, for you to be able to mobilize very well, you need to have funds for you to enable the team that is working with you to move smoothly down there in the village. Now, when you talk about the NRM, for them they are successful because NRM is a political party which has money. And the money has helped them to mobilize. Now, when you look at these other political parties, sometimes it needs even sacrifice. Someone to be dedicated to work. At the end of the day, you don't expect to get something. And when you look at the nature of politics in Uganda right now, the political party which has money is most likely to have a good mobilization. Let us look at the concluded election.
Presidential election.
There are candidates who did not reach to certain regions in Uganda.
The presidential, you're meaning they're talking of the
When you
presidential
talk about the
candidates.
presidential candidate, even the people down there, when you know that for me, when I go to such and such a place, the people on the other side, they will demand me money at the end of the day.
I think the Electoral Commission did not favor other candidates, first of all, because you realize that they are given 2 venues, rather 3 venues to cover in one day, and the others are using the aeroplane. You remember the NRM candidate was using the aeroplane, the president was using the aeroplane. But now, for the case of Bobby Wine, this one of Kasibante, others, they were using vehicles, and I think others were even using motorcycles to cover areas of or areas that electoral commission has destined them. As we dive, as the dust also goes down, what are we? Where do we see was the weakness, first of all, in terms of assigning or rather destinating the venues for these candidates?
When you talk about where the weakness was, I think for me, I think the regime was tying some candidates. They were not allowed to mobilize.
Was it a regime or electoral commission? We need to be very clear to the viewers who was tying because I believe I'm very optimistic that the calendar and the time stipulated was given by electoral commission.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you are right. When you talk about the electoral commission, I think some candidates were not favored, whereby when you talk about, for example, when there are some instances whereby he came out to complain to the Amakama why he was not allowed to go and campaign in certain districts. Like when you look at in eastern Uganda, he did not campaign in Amuria. When you talk about northern Uganda, when you places like Noya, talk about Ugulu, in western Uganda, when you talk about Kazi and Kirohora, even in central Uganda, there are places that he really didn't go and campaign. So you really see when that was one of the things that was weakening that political party, especially for them, they seem to be challenging the current government. But the other candidate, I think they just had their weaknesses of not reaching to these places, because apart from being blocked from reaching to a certain place, you really see some candidates were not able to reach to some districts.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are unpacking the elections, and also we are looking at why opposition has always tried its level best to make sure that they take victory, but it has never succeeded for over 40 years. So we are asking, and we are also trying to internalize issues here. Why is it always that opposition always finds?
For me, when you look at opposition in Uganda,
But
for them to be
does the
successful,
opposition have a voice in Uganda first? That's what we need to understand.
they have a voice. They have a voice, but only that they don't have one voice. For me, I really feel they should come as one. If it was one opposition party, all the and when you talk about the PFF, FDC, the NUP, if they can come as one, I think that's also
But
a look
I
for.
think, yeah,
Where, because now, when you look at the percentages, if the opposition is one, the percentage that some other candidates will be getting, all that percentage might be able to go to one candidate. They front one strong candidate to compete against the party which is ruling Uganda right now. Don't you think that will work for opposition in Uganda? Because they have tried having multiple parties, but it's not working. It's a high time they sit down and rethink of bring these other political parties, and they will be fronting only one political party against the ruling party.
but that agenda was, I think, some years ago. There was that move to have one single opposition, strong, dynamic leader to come in and challenge the sitting president. But I think the issue here that I've always seen in opposition also, they have a struggle, first of all. Even if we give NUP, even if we give FDC will enjoy only the privileges. So, and also the NRM, they have a belief that they are a mass party. So opposition now tries to divide itself, according to me, to make sure that they disorganize some votes from.
NRM is a mass party, but again,
But now the problem, before you come in, opposition keep on campaigning themselves. I think that's why it's very hard for opposition to win. It has been so hard for opposition to win for over 40 years. They keep on campaigning themselves. For NUP is campaigning FDC. FDC is campaigning NUP. FDC is campaigning Democratic Front.
For me, I think the ruling party is very smart.
It's very smart.
They are very smart in the game. Whereby, when you look at the big figures who have been in the opposition, they have always been converted to NRM. Just think all the big figures in NRM right now who were opposition by then, if they were still opposition right now,
They would have got.
how do you see?
But they Others say that it is intimidation that always makes
them to run.
to run the other side, but also the calculating politically. Always when a visitor, if you get a visitor from somewhere, there's a way you give a hospitality. There's a way you give the really treatment of a visitor. So just like of recent, we had one crossing to NRM, and people are starting to judge or to give Zimbabwe. People are trying to first tell whether which side is he going to sit, but all in all, they are enjoying the privilege. So basically, that's what we are analyzing. First of all, we are unpacking the why opposition is not successful in winning the presidential race.
But for me, when you look at opposition right now, maybe they have to just prepare themselves. You know, when you want to take over from the government, which has stayed for decades in power, you have to prepare. So they are still in a process. It's like a revolution. It's a gradual process. They have to keep on learning and correcting on their mistakes. Like when you talk about the political parties that were just picking their candidates or vetting. Others, they believe when they are let people go for primaries. So if it means to go for primaries, all political parties, I think that will work. But again, now when you look at even the political party which always goes on the primaries, that is NRM. So many people have complained there has been a vote rigging and so on, and people again run.
But they organize reconciliation after.
Other people again run to contest as an independent candidate. At the end of the day, they end up being elected in either LOC 5 or member of parliament. So I think these other political parties have also tried, let us not go for primaries. Because if the other people are doing in this way, why should we also emulate them? So they have opted like a vetting. If vetting is also not working out well, I think they should what in? They should be looking another approach that will help them to bring in good MPs. Then the other thing I think which opposition needs to do in Uganda is to look for people who are influential in all regions. They have succeeded in Uganda because when you look at the figures which are there in Uganda, you really see that these are brilliant people. But now when you go to up country, you'll find some MPs who have contested. People even don't know. Someone has been in Kampala, but he has come back to the village within 4 to 5 months or 1 year that have come to contest. I'm a NUP member, I'm a FDC member, I'm a PFF member, and yet NRM person maybe lost election the previous year. He started the campaigning immediately in the following year. So by the time you come back from Kampala, this person has been in the ground for the last 4 years. So how do you
attending burials,
attending burials,
functions,
attending different functions and so on? I think there are a lot to be done by opposition here in Uganda if they really want to succeed
in winning the presidential seat.
In winning a presidential seat.
But is there a future for opposition? That question goes to the viewers. Is there a future for opposition? But also, we are seeing that there's a statement I hear from Minister of Constitutional Affairs. I mean, Minister of Justice, and that is Robert Mao. He believes that we are moving to the transition. Opposition might take this opportunity of transition to power.
It's very hard to believe what Norbert Mao is talking.
But they have, Norbert Mao has a corporate agreement with the President Museveni, and they discuss
but
their
that
own
agreement
things.
is almost coming.
It is coming to an end around May somewhere. It will
maybe
expire.
When that agreement is renewed again, because right now for us to start believing in Mao that we are in a transition or
the government
is going to happen. Let us first wait and see what is going to happen in the a race for speakership. If he succeeds, maybe some people will now start believing what Mao is what Mao is talking.
But of course, the president has already endorsed Anita and Sayembwa, and I had yesterday I had a conversation. Someone was saying that once the president backs an idea, it will never fail. So
yeah, me too. I do believe, because for
but
me,
Mao also wanted to balance the both. So
for me, when you look at how Nobert Mao talks, you really believe is that person.
he's overqualified.
Who is that person who can be able to take Uganda to a next level when you talk about speakership and so on? Is person who is really promising. But for me, I really believe when the president endorses someone for that seat, definitely that person will come out. Because now at the end of the day, you have to first look at the numbers which NRM is having in the parliament.
And
Now,
Mao has only six
six
MPs.
candidates. But again, there are members in NRM that will still vote for Mao in FDC, but they might not be able to encounter the other number, which Honorable Anita
is going to get, because
is going to score.
Anita has become strategic. She has met.
Because we have seen people coming out to declare.
They are recording videos.
People are recording videos, which has not been happening in the past.
They are recording videos, every day.
So it really shows, and there are those ones who are behind the closed doors. For them, they don't want to record videos. They are just there waiting to go
and vote
and vote. But it has been the nice one, because I think each and everyone has been interested to see how the race is going to be between Mao and Anita among. But for me, since the president has already endorsed Anita, I think it's going to be a walkover. Easy one for her. Maybe if Mao wants to be in that post, he has to first wait after this term. Then in 2031, he will come back.
But he's very confident that he will go through. He will beat.
But now again in his 2031, don't you think Taiba would also come? Since I served that deputy speaker,
no,
now I also want to add.
And that's what's most likely to happen. But I think we leave that to the House. They always say that the NRM always goes to their room to discuss and analyze how they choose their leaders. But also the others who were challenging Anita within the party. First of all,
Lydia Wanyoto.
She is not happy.
For me, when you talk about Lydia Wanyoto, she has been someone who even disappeared for quite some time.
But she has been
for her to bring, she has been in the system, but
for 32 years.
For her to bring her name back is when she won this election in Mbale City. So then from there now, she came that I'm running for the speakership. But now we have to look at the numbers in the regions. When you talk about Eastern Uganda, is the region which is having more MPs.
Eastern Uganda has 101 MPs.
So once someone can be able to get a block of vote from Eastern Uganda, go and pick now at least 50-50 from the other regions.
And the other side of Northern has 83
MPs and so on.
So it's a game to, it's a hard game to watch, but so also
you might see at the end of the day, for those other people who have also contested in that race, you might end up taking yourself. You count on it.
All right.
You count on the one who vote.
Auntie.
But for me, I really believe Anita Mo will go back. Looking at how things have been going down.
She has a mafia.
Because for her, I think she was preparing for this last term than ever, because she was traversing the whole country. For her, not in the race in Bukedi, I think it was an advantage for her, because she stepped in each and every district in Uganda, and she backed a good number of NRM candidates who are in parliament right now. If there are those ones whom she didn't back and they are in the parliament, there are few compared to the ones that she backed and they are in the parliament. So when you look at all that block, they will stand behind Anita. So for me, I really believe she's going to be there.
Well, We don't know. We leave that to the eligible voters.
the eligible
Those
voters.
are the MPs,
But
12 parliament.
but now when you look at it, if it's to bring that voting down here to remove from the parliament, maybe Mao will go. Because when you look at the people's opinions in social media, the discussions outside, I think most of them they are behind Mao, but that will be very hard.
Yeah, the majority is behind Mao. So opposition is still going to struggle to get these big positions in government. But also Mao has some cake, but I don't know why challenging Anita might again cause this cake, but we don't know.
Maybe Mao is just showing up for this time.
Yeah,
he's just opening the curtain. He waits for the other term.
But it looks like the curtain is already down. The speakership race curtain is already down. When you follow the letter very well. That NRM first is going to go for the caucus, parliamentary caucus, and they will make a last resolution.
So let us wait and see how things will be going down, because the months are now numbered. We are now waiting for 1 month to see what happens, maybe in April towards May. But for me, I think that race is going to cool down, because 1 or 2, the first 2 to 3 weeks, when Mao came out and said Porimi is going to be the speaker of the Federal Parliament, I think the debate was hot everywhere. But now I think things are going to normalize.
They are coming down. They are coming down. Ladies and gentlemen, things are not easy in Uganda. Every day you get hot news. Every day you get hot news. I had a last story that political failures, parliamentary failures are backing Mao. And I asked myself, what is happening really in the country? Because those political losers will not be able to vote Mao, even if they back him up. But also the big question remains, why is it that opposition has always struggled for several years to get into power? And the power it means for the presidential seat. They are unsuccessful.
Not only a presidential seat, they are member of parliament who have been in the parliament for the last 20 years, 15, 20, 25. That is still a challenge to the oppositions, because when you go to a place, you see one NRM member has been in power. For example, when you talk about Moses Ali.
Yes, the general. The general.
In West Nile.
Yes.
So he has been always there. Why is opposition failing
to dismantle him,
to turn things around? I think for opposition to be successful, they have to start from down. When you look at LOC3, LOC5, come to MP and so on, those are the seats they should be targeting, because if you manage those seats, definitely even on the top, because when voting comes, someone will be looking at where the bars is from the president to LOC1. But again, when you look at the recently concluded election, even an opposition person will first go and vote for the bars, then he goes again to look for the key now, for the member of parliament or the umbrella. Then there are people who go and vote, they don't know whom to vote.
Others just go and vote because they want to
and
vote.
Then even I think the voter turnout is very poor in Uganda, especially the recently concluded election. The voter turnout was not good. I think there are people who have already lost interest in voting. A big number of people
lost interest in voting.
In voting. If those people can be able to come back and vote, and we don't know where those votes are going. Is it the ruling party or to the opposition? Those ones who are no longer interested in voting. Then there is a big number of people again who have qualified to vote, but they are not in the voters register. So there are a number of factors
to be diagnosed.
To be diagnosed.
Hello. Things are not easy.
Yeah, things are not easy. But let us watch the space, how things will be happening. But when you talk about campaigning or preparing for election and so on, It starts before
But it is,
and afterward
but
election.
but now, don't you think like opposition is going to become too weak because the strong opposition leaders, like the likes of the Semuyu, Mpunga, they are kicked out of the national cake.
For me,
Don't you think that will be another advantage that it's going to popularize or rather make the ruling party to climb higher than, because Semuju and the rest, the likes of Meda, the Segona, they were putting the ruling party into check. They really challenge, and even them they testify, these people were really a threat to us. You have had different sessions from parliament from these opposition leaders when they are raising issues. You really find that most of them go straight to the point. They don't beat around the bush. Don't you think this is again another blow for opposition to deteriorate?
For me, I don't think it's another blow for opposition because now they are, they have to learn. It's like giving an opportunity to someone, because there are people who have really believed in Ibrahim Semojo Uganda, that he is that person that you really want to see in each and every parliament in Uganda. But now in the 12th parliament, Semojo is not there. Can Musisi also be the next Semojo?
We don't know.
Can Mudiopole be the next Semojo? So it's an opportunity for someone from opposition to come and try to be like Semojo. If you cannot be able even to fit into his shoes, but at least you try to have some qualities of Semojo. So it's a test for the people of opposition, and the issues of opposition dying in Uganda, I don't think it's going to happen. Because for me now, I think it's a time for the younger generation also to come, because there has been a belief whereby people thought it's only the people who have grown up, they are the ones to participate in the politics. But the coming of Achagulanyi has given even the youth strength that even us, we can start right away. Talk about this Masereku Robert. Just from Makerere University, is now an MP of Mukono at 20 years. And more are coming, not only in opposition, but also in the ruling party. Young people are coming on board. So opposition is not going to disappear in Uganda.
It's going to be there.
So because when you look at the numbers which were following Chagulanyi, those numbers were not for fun. They were sending something.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. We want to come to the end of this conversation, unless you have something.
I think for now, let us first share that with our listeners
and the viewer. All right, thank you very much. But the question remains: why is it that opposition has always struggled to win, but they are never successful for over 40 years? Why? That and more you'll get in our video. Don't forget to subscribe to James Stone Lens. My name is James Alomo. I've been with the Robert Vance.
Thanks so much for viewing. We shall again catch up next time with another nice topic for us to discuss.
And we were hosted, by the way, in Pal Avenue. This is Pal Avenue. If you're in Soroti, Kampala, just come to, if you're in Kampala, just come to Soroti. Look for a place, Pal Avenue. Ask a direction. They will bring you to Crossroads. Then from Crossroads, they will direct you to the venue. For convenient hideouts, you can come here. Thank you very much.